We are live. Blast it or stash it. Drew's still looking up his quote. Can't quite get it, but that's the joy of going live and him not being ready. So we'll start with him with our movie.
Oh, I am ready.
You better be ready because after the comments you made at some other show, you're lucky to be on. Okay.
Look, it's man. I'm really hurt that you would not realize I was kidding. I only do that show on Friday in order to promote this show on Sunday.
He does a good job at kissing off.
It's really upsetting to me. I'm really hurt.
Okay, give us your movie quote. I'm tired of the groveling.
All right. All right. Now I gotta unlock my phone. Don't point the gun at him. He's an unpaid intern.
Sounds familiar.
From 2004. The character who says this line is played by one of the greatest comedic actors of our and any generation. Don't point the gun at him. That's an unpaid intern.
Is it Bill Murray? Is the actor?
It certainly is Bill Murray.
Oh, it is. Oh, wow. I was just a guess.
It is not. This movie came out in 2004.
Zombieland.
No, sorry, it's not Zombieland. It's one of my favorite films.
I don't know. I'm lost. Moving on.
Well, we can move on. It's The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh, you should see it. It's amazing.
I'm not a fan of that director.
Well, I don't know what you have against beautiful movies.
Paul, you're up.
Let's see. Well, in honor of Veterans Day, I did one from 2002. The character says, "Our Father in heaven, before we go into battle, every soldier among us will approach you each in his own way. Our enemies, too, according to their own understanding, will ask for protection and for victory. And so we bow before your infinite wisdom. We offer our prayers as best we can. I pray you watch over the young Jack Gogan that I lead into battle. You use me as your instrument in the awful hell of war to watch over them. Amen. Oh, yes. And one more thing, dear Lord, about our enemies. Ignore their heathen prayers and help us blow those little bastards straight to hell. Amen."
Men of Honor?
Nope.
That's is that Saving Private Ryan?
Nope.
Jesus. I know it. I just can't. All those movies blend together for me.
Pope Graham, you said Gangs of New York.
Nope.
That's a good movie, though. Really,
It is a good movie.
I'm out. I don't know.
It is the great We Were Soldiers about the Vietnam War.
We were
Mel Gibson.
Yep.
Oh, good movie.
And of course, Sam Elliott being Sam Elliott. Good morning, sir. How the fuck kind of morning you know it is?
Yeah. Moving on to PocanJoe.
All right, mine's from 1997. There's only two men I trust. One of them's me, and the other's not you.
Oh my God.
Is that The Devil's Own?
No.
God.
He says something very similar to that in that movie. What year is it again?
1997.
That wasn't going to help.
Who's the main actor?
Nicolas Cage. He's an Army Ranger.
Oh, Con Air?
Yes.
Con Air, dude. That's where he has that crappy Southern accent. My baby dog.
Horrible garbage movie. Yes.
I love that movie. It is garbage, but yes, I love that movie.
Sometimes you need a garbage movie.
Well, what's he call his wife in that movie? What's her nickname?
Bunny.
Is it Bunny? Put the bunny back in the box.
Yeah, he wants the bunny to take to his daughter.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Okay, moving on to Mike. You looked very sleepy earlier in our little off air.
I'm very sleepy, and in the chat we got a bunch of other sleepy people. Double S Comic Reader, Pope Grammy's been here since the beginning. Great Legend is in here. Mr. Gretzky 9966, Kakarot. I don't know if you're talking about duck butter, which me and Joey actually asked the waitress for the other day.
That's really nice of you. I'm sure she was just doing her fucking job.
So was the one waitress in Dallas, but you kept hitting on her.
Hey. Me and Claudia, we had a thing going. There was a vibe.
Yeah.
There was a vibe.
On one end.
And Jeremy Edwards was in here as well. My quote is actually from this year, and if it stands, it will win the Stashy Award for Best Non-Comic Movie. And it is, I pity your wife if you think sober.
Repeat that.
I pity your wife if you think 6 minutes is forever.
Yeah, Porky's. It's got to be Porky's.
From
It
this
came
year?
out this year.
I know. I was being sarcastic. Hummingbird, Double S Comic Reader said that was his wife's nickname from Con Air. A little hummingbird.
God, that sounds so familiar. Was it something we watched together? But I can't.
It is.
Now I feel like an idiot.
Oh, it's got to be
Brokeback Mountain.
Queen movie.
The what?
Venom?
The Queen movie.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody.
It is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Is it?
I encourage everyone to go out and see it. It is fucking amazing.
I'm beginning to think that OBS was OSB. OBS was not the issue. I think it's just Mike's internet in general that just causes this kind of problem.
He's got to shock the hamster, get him moving again.
Yeah, he does. My quote is from 2007. Maybe that puts God on your side. To them, that makes you dangerous, makes you unpredictable. That's the best thing you can be right now. It is a comic book movie.
Is that The Dark Knight Rises?
No.
2007 comic. Oh wow. Daredevil?
No.
What year?
2007.
Jeremy said Watchmen.
That was
Nope.
2009, I think.
I probably find another quote on here.
Green Lantern.
No.
Green Lantern 2.
The Reckoning.
Electric Boogaloo.
Green Lantern 3, Scared of Yellow Pea.
Let's see here. I can find one quote here. He may have my soul, but he doesn't have my spirit.
Ghost Rider.
It is Ghost Rider. Another Nicolas Cage movie, which was kind of
very Nicolas Cage heavy today.
It was. I like Ghost Rider too. I thought it was pretty good. The second one's horrible, god awful, but I like the first one well enough.
The effects in the second were a lot better, but the movie was not as good. You're right.
No, definitely not as good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and jump right into the comics, starting with Drew.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about something that I did not like this week, and that is Nightwing number 52. Rick Grayson. What the hell is that? Yeah, they shot Dick Grayson in the head. Now he's Rick, and he's worthless, but he still does magical parkour tricks for some reason, and it's really dumb. And a bunch of cops are like hey, we're going to take these Nightwing costumes and be Nightwings. This is a first appearance of the Nightwings. Well, a cameo appearance, I guess. And I guess the next issue will be the first appearance of the Nightwings. And they'll both be worth nothing because this story's going to go nowhere because this is absolute garbage. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on. And it's printed on DC's garbage-ass paper stock. So, yeah, this is a turd. And it might be my turd of the week. I think, yeah. Let's go ahead and call it book number 1, turd of the week.
Anybody else read Nightwing or Nightwings this week?
I read it and I threw it away. Done.
That's it? That was that garbage, huh?
It's terrible. It's really bad.
The worst thing about the story is it made absolutely no sense. Like I said, we got Dick Grayson who's been shot in the head, and now all of a sudden, all these police officers are freaking ninjas, and they needed a suit to prove it. That's what I got from the story. Like, why weren't they badass before that? Like, why is this relevant to the story? And I think somebody just ran out of ideas, and they were like, hey, let's just take some police officers and make them ninjas. Ta-da! That's what it seemed like. It seemed very forced.
I think that it was who knows why they're doing it. They're shaking it up. Nightwing wasn't selling, but it was a solid book for 50 some issues, and then oh, now we got to shake it up and let these people play with Nightwing's gadgets. It's like, okay, that's fine. They're cops, so actually they're not all cops. 2 of them are cops. One of them is like special forces or something, and the other one is like a fire chief. He's a fire chief. I'm not sure how many fire chiefs you guys have met in your life, but most of them used to be in really great shape, and now they're the chief of the firehouse, so they don't do shit. They've all got pot bellies and they stand around all day. Like, that's what a fire chief is. So any fire chiefs in the chat, I'm sorry if I've offended you. I'm sure you're doing your best. And I'm sure that you seek all the fires to fight. But, I mean, come on. That doesn't make you a superhero just because you find some superheroes gear. This is absolute nonsense.
Yeah, we just lost the whole potbelly fire chief portion of our show now.
Demographics gone.
Great, Drew. Thanks. Now we're down.
Whoa. They should be tuning in because we give them representation.
Potbelly fire chiefs just don't get the credit they deserve. Nobody else read that this week then? Right. Moving on to Paul.
WS Comic Reader said Dan Aykroyd was a fire chief, and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, and that makes all the sense in the world. Give him a Nightwing suit. Let him fight crime.
All right, so my first book this week is Auntie Agatha's Home for Wayward Rabbits.
I almost picked it up.
Stick with me here, folks. This was fucking hysterical. Starts off with rabbits being fed vegetables, and one of them looks up and he says, "You're racial profiling me." To a line further on in the book that farts are God's way of saying hi to people you don't like. I was totally into this book. I have no fucking idea what's going on, but sometimes you just need a stupid ass comic that's funny to make your day.
You be able to read that this week?
No, but I'm going to look for it now.
Yeah, I'm going to go grab that.
I heard it was kind of a comparison to like the cartoon on Nickelodeon, like Wayward Monsters or Wayward. It's the same kind of thing where this little girl kind of talks to these animals.
Yep.
Nobody else can hear them.
I would assume nobody else can hear him.
Yeah.
It was really funny. I loved it.
Since nobody else read that this week, moving on to Joe.
Joe, let's go with the surprise of the week.
Yo, Joe.
We'll go ahead and we'll talk about Deathstroke here, number 37. I went with this beautiful Matina cover of Two-Face on the cover there. Not a huge Deathstroke fan. First time I've really actually got into a storyline for it. And I kind of enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't a one-shot. I'm a little lost in it. But I thought it was very well written. I thought the artwork in it was good. And I'll be honest with you, that cover is just kick-ass. Beautiful cover. Let me show it again so everybody can get a little bit of a chub. There it is. Just sick cover. Great story. And really, I just bought it on a whim because I control everything with a budget, and it was like one of the last picks. So I was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and get that. And I was kind of surprised by it.
So, Beyond Blaster said full chub reached. Nice. Anybody else read Deathstroke this week?
No, but it has consistently been one of the better DC books recently.
Okay, then moving on to Mike. Mike usually is one of the members with the most amount of books, but he didn't have as many this week. Let's get his first one now.
Big shout out to the Comic Corps who popped in here. Also, Comics with Bueller, Comic G-Man, and Beyond the Blast Doors. Let's do X-23 number 6.
Let's.
It's funny as fuck. In this one, Gabby and Laura actually go undercover at a high school to track down this evil scientist. Gabby is posing as a student, and Laura is the gym teacher. And it's just great stuff. I enjoyed it. Stash it for this cover, too.
Okay, Drew, what do you think of it?
Oh, not only did I pick this up, I also picked up the Uncanny X-Men variant cover. Joey's showing that off as well. This is Terry Dodson's work, and it's absolutely gorgeous. One of the better X-Men covers that came out this week. The interior of this book, like Mike said, absolutely fantastic. Honey Badger is one of the greatest characters that has come along in quite some time. She has captured my heart and the imagination of the public with the way she wants to murder things, and she is absolutely awesome. Love this kid. I want DC and Marvel to do a crossover so I can get Honey Badger meets the Super Sons. It's the only way this could get any better. She's fantastic, and this book is a stash. Tamaki is not a writer that I've really had a lot of love for in the past, but I love what she's doing with these characters. The art for me is just not as fluid and good as it could be. It is Duarte. I enjoy his covers. I think that the interiors here leave a little bit to be desired overall, as the quality is spotty from panel to panel. But overall, this book is great, man. I love it.
Paul, did you read it before we go to Joe?
No, I didn't get a chance to get to that one yet. Okay,
Joe.
This was a great story. And again, I went with the Dotson cover as well. I thought it was probably one of the better ones for the week. The greatest thing I loved about the story was it kind of did like this. I don't know if anybody will remember the show, if I'm going to give away my age, but 21 Jump Street. It was basically a story like that. We have X-23 running around being a teacher. We have Honey Badger being, the typical cool kid student. It's not going to take any shit from bullies. The villain's a bully. It worked out, and it was funny along the way. Was it action-packed, your comic book trope type story? No, it was not. It was just a funny in-between before the next arc, just to get people laughing and to give us some people that maybe have just getting back into comic books, that X-23 character and Honey Badger. It gave us kind of an insight of that, about those characters and how they handle things and how they operate. And I thought that was a great segue to the next arc. I absolutely loved it.
Mike is the one that read that. So I guess I'm up with my first book. Let's go with Walking Dead 185. It's actually a double-sized issue, but the second half of the issue is, I'm not sure if it's a whole thing for Outpost Zero. I didn't read it.
It is. It's the whole first issue of Outpost Zero.
It is. Okay. So we have a double cover here. So Outpost Zero as well as Walking Dead. I only read The Walking Dead. No. So last issue, Rick met up with Dwight in his room, and Dwight really wants to take over the Commonwealth. He's thinking that he can be easily taken over, so now he's really testing it, trying to see what we can do. And Rick's like, we can't do this. It's kind of brought life back to normal. They have restaurants, they have waiters, they have all this stuff that Rick seems like everybody's forgotten. Everything seems normal here. But Dwight's wanting to take it over, and Rick's disagreeing with him. So that may be the next big altercation is between Dwight and Rick. I noticed something here. I posted it on the Facebook page. I'll show it here again too. Where is it? There it is. Rick Grimes got his hand back. Just for all you people out there know. I mean, of course, he got it chopped off, issue 26, 25, right around in there. So he's been without a hand for quite some time. And all of a sudden now, bam, he gets it back. So spoiler on that. Walking Dead, it has its highs, its lows. Usually the lows are when it's setting up the new story arc and trying to figure out what's going on and meet the next big bad. To me, it's always been consistently good because it's about storytelling. It's about those things. So it's a stack. And Drew, you read that too?
Yeah, I also picked up the Jesus cover as well.
Yeah, I got that one too.
Praised him. I agree. Walking Dead's consistency is why I keep buying it. When it hits a lull, that doesn't last too long. Art's consistent, storytelling's consistent, always great characters. So I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this and keep on picking it up. Outpost Zero apparently didn't have the sales that they were looking for in the first couple of issues from Skybound, but that is a great story as well. So if you did pick this up, give Outpost Zero a try. They're only on issue 3, I believe, of their ongoing series. So give that a shot as well. 2 stashes in 1.
I have the ash can of Outpost Zero. I haven't even read that.
Well, you should check it out. In the chat, we got a couple of folks showing up. We got Comic Cores in there chatting it up with C. Woodard. So what's going on, C. Wood? Dare to Defy. We all know that guy's always defying things. Yeah, who else? Somebody else popped in too. I was seeing it.
Nick Leslie popped in.
Nick Leslie's in here. Yeah, all kinds of peeps. Funk Off doesn't know what 21 Jump Street is.
What?
Yeah.
Which is funny because they just remade it as a couple movies a couple years back.
Yeah,
they did a whole lot of things.
It was a Johnny Depp vehicle, I mean, it really pushed him into the spotlight, man.
Yeah, he could have never been Grindelwald without this.
It is nice to be on the Blastoise. It's been a long time since I've seen him.
We got a very active chat running tonight, guys. We are very lucky to have so many people that want to talk comics with us.
No, they want to see you get fired.
I think that's what it is.
I think we got the DruManchu bump going here. I think everybody who saw me deserve to get fired on Friday tuned in tonight, and we call that synergy, my friends. We call that synergy.
Well, with your synergy,
Bruce has just popped in.
What's
going on, Bruce?
Why don't you, with your synergy, show us your next book?
All right, my next book. Let's go with something I liked this time around.
Please.
It's one of 2 books that you have.
It's actually most of them this week. Death of Inhumans #5. I picked up this fantastic Steranko homage by Mike Del Mundo. I know a lot of people are on the fence about this guy's art, but man, that is freaking gorgeous right there. Yeah, Death of Inhumans. Yeah, this is a stash. I'm loving what Donny Cates did with the story here. The Olivetti art was kind of up and down throughout the whole thing, but not terrible at any point. And this kind of ended weird, though, where I don't really know exactly what happened. But Black Bolt did sacrifice the bulk of... Oh, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Black Bolt sacrificed the bulk of the Inhumans to save the royal family. So... basically, the royal family is still alive. They're all there. Lockjaw didn't die, which I'm very happy about. But beyond that, it kind of ended on a whimper. But I like the way that this story unfolded, and I like the way that he dealt with these characters. So, stash.
Maybe let's read Death of Inhumans this week.
No, the title pretty much gave it away for me, so I didn't pick it up.
I guess that's good. Go back to Paul, your next book.
My next book is Adventures of the Super Sons #4. I've really liked this book all along, but this is probably my favorite issue of the run. And it's just been an amazing book. At the same time, that kind of pisses me off because this is about the best thing DC's putting out, and it's a limited series, of course. Damian is funnier than he has any right to be in this one, especially when he's talking to Superman, talking about how they're praising each other, they're praising himself. And the Superboys indulged in some Technicolor barfing, which was good. Lobo shows up. There's a good twist at the end. It's all good stuff. I mean, it's hitting on all cylinders.
I gotta see where Lobo shows up. I don't remember that. Joe, did you read that this week?
One panel.
No, I didn't. I got like 50 comic books over here, and for some reason, y'all are listening to ones I don't have.
How about you, Mike?
I did not read.
Okay. I'm looking for the Lobo. On what page he's on? But yeah, I do agree. This is since Super Sons came out last year with the ongoing that they did have. It was always consistently one of my picks of the week, and still is continuing to be as well. So I'm just looking for that Lobo page. I do like the twist at the end. You knew that the Kid Joker was going to not be the good guy. You know, he was going to do something that would benefit him. You know, not to give too many spoilers away. But definitely good stuff. Can't wait to continue on with this story. So stash for me for sure. What about you, Drew? One of your DCs you do like?
Man, it's Super Sons. It's Peter J. Tomasi. I'm on board, man. This guy, he knows these characters inside and out. He is the well, not the creator of John, but the giver of life to John in every way that really matters through his stories and Rebirth in Super Sons and Superman proper. He really fleshed out Damian and made him less of a little twat through Batman and Robin after Morrison fell off. So I think that he's really the only one that I like writing Damian. The fact that Damian's kind of turned back to a bit of an asshole is exciting in a little way in Teen Titans, but I really like the way he's treated in Super Sons with a lot of heart and a lot of care. Yeah, one of my favorite characters. And like I said, man, we just need to do a Marvel DC crossover. The only reason it needed to be, I need Honey Badger and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur hanging out with the Super Sons, and that right there is really the best amalgam universe we could possibly get.
So what page is Lobo on?
It's where they're bouncing around in the taxi. They run into one of the Green Lanterns too.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. We're going on to Mike now. What's your next? Or actually, it's Joe. Sorry.
Is it me? Okay, let's go with the Infinity Wars. I am still enjoying this, although I thought this particular issue was a little lackluster in its storyline. However, we did get to see all the great warped characters fighting in their own different universe. I got this beautiful limb cover here. I really enjoyed that out of, I don't know, the 100,000s that they had this time.
I love that
covers this one, but that's a good one too. Drew's holding up a
This is the A cover, yeah. This is a regular cover.
But again, back to the story. What are we dealing with in the story here? Here's what we're dealing with. We got everything's collapsing on each other, just like she said it would. The universe is collapsing in on itself. Everything's doubled. Everything's automatically in chaos. And therefore, you're reading a story that is nothing more than chaos happening in it. So if you read the story and you're like, man, I hate the story, think of it in context for the rest of the story. Right now, everything's going to context. You can't throw things together and it not be kind of crazy. But we did get some interesting facts in this. I don't want to be the spoiler person, but if you read this, you definitely got to get the next story because now things need to be streamlined out, and I think it's going to happen in the next issue. Definitely pick it up. This is a stash for me.
Mike, did you read Infinity Wars this week?
Out of pretty much all the books I read, this is probably my pick of the week. We get Loki taking a set of stones for himself.
What the hell?
Great story. Stashed it. A few shout outs. I want to shout out to comics my sex planed.
What?
Pages, films, and plastics. And I want to shout out Robin. They're looking for graphic novels. So, but yeah, definite stash.
Robin's looking for
comics my
graphic
sex
novels.
explained.
DC only, so I guess I won't talk about it. Actually, no. Some of my best stories that I read over the past year or so have been DC stories. Tomasi's Superman comes to mind. Volume 1 of that is absolutely fantastic. Volume 1 of Super Sons is great as well. I would recommend both of those.
Yeah, 2% definitely. So Infinity Wars, yeah, not much more I can really add to it. Loki did something that we all kind of expected. He's always looking out for himself. I'm not going to go what he did, but you knew he was going to twist and turn and end up doing something that was going to screw everything up. But yeah, it's definitely stashed for me.
Are you saying Loki was being all Loki?
Yeah, it was being a Loki. There's only one issue left, I think, in that run, right? I think this one.
I thought it was 8.
Oh, 6. Oh, man.
Who knows? It's Marvel. They're going to add 7 different parts. Yeah, a couple quick points about the book. Art was cool. Story was cool. Loki's an asshole again. That's pretty great. There's Celestials that show up. That's awesome. The Soldier Supreme makes an allusion to not wanting to be split back into Steve Rogers. And Doctor Strange, alluding to the possibility of this universe continuing forward in the future, and some things spilling over from the end of this. There's all kinds of stuff going on, man, and I really, really dig it. This is a stash. This is how events are supposed to be done. Take note, whoever's clumsily floating together Doomsday Clock. This is how you do an event.
Paul, did you read that this week?
No, I did not.
That was Mike's start, right?
I believe so. So is it Drew next?
Me next.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Drew starts it all off.
Yeah. Just forget about me over here. Okay.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
Sorry, when I'm fired, you can go first all the time.
Okay.
We never think about you because Drew's too busy carrying your nasty ass.
My sack of shit. I don't remember ordering the second book of this, but it was only $1.50, so I went ahead and just picked it up anyhow. This is Psycho KO number 2 of 3. The first book, Psycho was in a surfing contest to take back his throne as the all-time surfer. This one, he is sent to protect the stuntman, his all-time hero, who kind of looks like Lee Majors from Bionic Man in the bed. So he goes to go to protect him, and then this fake psycho with the mustache comes in there to try to kill the stuntman. It's a cross between, like I said, Archie's comics and stuff. I mean, for $1.50, it did have some cool things here. Let me flip through it real quick. What they say when they come into the room, which kind of reminds me of Archie. And he says, "What the Chuck Barris?" That's one of the things he says. And they say, "You can't use that; it's already been used." And he said, "What the Gene dancing machine?" So for $1.50, it's not bad. I said I went ahead and picked it up anyhow. So Psycho KO got an extra $1.50 spend. You want to get a little giggle? Why not?
That sounds like it's right up Joey's alley. He laughed at everything you mentioned.
He did. Did he giggle?
He's over here giggling like a schoolgirl.
I like silly comics.
So
Okay, I dug them too.
Attack of the Cyclone. Go ahead, Drew.
All right, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Batman number 58. Yeah, this is the Penguin. Apparently he's Bane's bitch or something, and he's going to team up with Batman. And what? Where? What? That's all I have to say about this is I have no idea where this is going or where it came from. It doesn't fit into anything that has been going on in Tom King's Batman so far, except for the fact that apparently in the bowels of Arkham, there's a throne of skulls upon which sits Bane, and everybody's his bitch, even though he doesn't have any venom, and it doesn't make any damn sense. And I really, really, really hope that they have Bane kill Bruce Wayne at the end of this Tom King run. Otherwise, this is just a garbage.
Paul, did you read Batman this week?
Not yet.
Don't get me wrong; it's a pretty book. McCallion's art is beautiful, but it goes nowhere.
Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, there is a connection to Bane. Bane, if you go all the way back to issue 50 at the last panel, and I have preached about this on my own channel as well as Facebook. What is going on with why did Bane show up in the last one? What is going on down there? We finally got the connection, and nobody cares. It does not change the fact that it's still a garbage story. I've been waiting for some sort of connection from Batman 50 at this point, and I've been buying them up, trying to find hints or sneaky little whippets or anything like that, and they just outright explained it to me in this one, and they just took the joke. Well, no, they took the mystery and they made it a joke. The story at Bland, it does start making some sense why, Dr. Freeze was a thing and all this. It kind of put some of that stuff together, but you really got to read between the lines on it. And it leads it up to a lot of speculation at this point. And it's still a blast for me. And I'm going to keep buying them because I'm an idiot and I like good covers. Sad.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so we got a lot of new people in the chat tonight. So everyone go sub each other up. I just saw, where is it? DS Comics. He jumped in here. Great Legend talking about some Thundercat Funkos going on eBay soon. You're killing me. The Dead Mother herself, Mighty LJ, popped in here. And Sam's Tangled Web is in here as well. I thought Batman was okay. It's good to see the Penguin. I haven't seen him in a while, but other than that, it's a blast. It was, but that cover's pretty awesome.
So I think this book kind of goes against your theory about Potbelly Fire Chief, because in here we have the Penguin doing some acrobatics, and he's like a little Potbelly Fire Chief, So what I think about Tom King now, I'm hit and miss on him. I think a lot of what is because he has this 100-issue plan, and like Joe was saying, sometimes you got to read between the lines on some of that. I think it's a really slow burn, and I think it's gonna make sense all at the end. That's just my opinion. Because there's stuff that pops in and catches up, kind of like, oh, okay, they're bringing this little piece back, they're bringing this little piece back. And so I think it's going to be a really slow burn, and I think it's probably going to end up being better than what we think right now. But that's just my opinion. And, of course, everybody knows Drew does not agree with my opinion, and I'm wrong. So moving on.
It's not true.
Like syphilis?
I agree with your opinion not to fire me yet.
You started that out. So we'll move to Paul.
All right, let's do Border Town. This one was actually kind of painful for me. I thought this was a really good book when it was about the Incan legends in the real world and stuff. And then this issue, it crossed over into a political agenda laid on so thick they need bucket loaders to pile it on. And I am out. I couldn't get halfway through it. They did a scene with cops killing unarmed kids wearing Kaepernick jerseys and then just going back in their car and leaving. And I was like, no, this is no longer the book for me. I'm out.
He might be 106. I heard 100, but I'm not sure when how long Tom King's run is on Batman. I know it's at least 100. Anybody else read Border Town? Sorry.
Yeah, I did. And Paul's right. Right there at the beginning, And we're seeing a lot of this now with everything going on. It's very important that, people feel special and their heritage feels special. So I'm not going to make that argument for them. They can make it for it. Once you got past that, you actually have a good story here. And if they just leave the politics out of it, you can tell the exact same story the same way with what's going on in here. And they need to kind of maybe pull the reins back a little bit on the, no borders, people are proud. I get that you are, I get it. But I don't think the comic book realm is the place to preach that when your antagonist that wants to come and destroy everything is a Mexican god. It's kind of a different scenario from the beginning of the story, which makes things weird. So good story. Ignore the politics in it and enjoy it for what it is. A cool story.
Mike, you read that?
No, but I like Taco Bell.
Great.
That's a little
Diversity
late.
is strong.
I figured Mike would have been all over that book from the beginning because one of the main characters wears a lucha libre mask the entire series.
I mean, if they were lucha libre mask and have giant titties, it'd be right up his alley.
Anybody else read Border Town this week? You hear the regret in my voice when I ask that question.
Funny story about that.
No, you did not. I guess we'll jump on. No, let's go back to Joe. He's got a crap ton of books this week. So,
all right, I'll talk about the one that everybody
this week.
Yeah,
every week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hit up Green Lantern #1. Not a bad story. I'll start with that. I wanted something a little bit more exciting for the big comeback of them. But basically it read like a sequel to a cop movie. It's pretty much what it was. There were some things in there I'm not understanding. I don't know if it's from a different volume of Green Lantern. They just assumed that the reader coming on is a big follower of Green Lantern, I'm assuming. And so I'm still kind of scratching my head from this one. Maybe it's supposed to be a mystery. It reads like a mystery, so I like it. I like my mysterious or silly stories. But what I'm not getting is just this random guy that wants to tear a heart out of somebody. Who is that guy? Why is he important? They never really explained it. So I'm assuming it's something from before, and that's fine. I did get myself a couple of beautiful covers. I got myself a midnight cover, and I didn't have to wait till midnight. It was awesome. So not a bad story. I read it, got through it pretty quickly. I didn't much care for the art on the inside of it. It's not really my art styling. I thought it was very busy and it overused of negative space in it. But other than that, you can miss it. Well, but we'll keep reading it. So right now it's just a soft stash just to see where this goes.
What about you, Mike? You were holding it up.
I agree. I'm not too familiar with all the Green Lantern characters. Interesting end, but like I said, I'm not familiar who that is, who they are, or whatever. He does have sex in the book, and he talks to a giant chipmunk. So I don't know. It's soft stash. I'll see where this story goes.
I was like super excited for this book, and I read through it, and now I'm not. So I don't think I'll be picking up issue 2. You're talking about the negative space within the art too, Joe, and it made me, okay, maybe that's what it seemed like especially the first few pages with the little bit of backstory or whatever was going on. It just kicked my anxiety up to level 10 with all this stuff going on in the background. I'm like, what the hell? All this stuff. Unfortunately, it did not do it for me. This is a blast for me.
You're gonna regret that later, right? We're gonna get to reading this book, and we're gonna tell you all the great, and you're gonna do your thing where you're like, oh, now I need to go find it.
Maybe not. But Drew's up. What's up, Drew? What do you think of Green Lantern?
Yeah, I really like Morrison's story here. I think that there's a lot of really great homage to classic Green Lantern. And that's really where it ends. I said on Friday night, we talked about this a whole lot, and I made a couple of points that I think that are the only two I'll stick to on this, and that is this book looks like it came out in 1998. The presentation of this book is dated, and it hurts my eyes to look at it. Yeah, I want to see where it goes, but I'm not willing to read it to find out. So this is a blast.
What about you, Paul? Did you read it this week?
For once, Drew and Huey are wrong together.
Wow.
For me, this is Grant Morrison at his best. Deep, reasonably confusing, but interesting. And you're often left with the feeling that this is going to be so much better when the acid kicks in. Throwing a little gratuitous sex, and you've got Grant Morrison in a nutshell. He's at the top of his game, stash for sure.
Wow.
I didn't hear you say anything positive about the art when you were saying that, though.
The girl had big yabos.
Okay, you can draw yabos, have the rest of the panel induce seizures. All right, you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah,
the art didn't sell this book on me.
Any defense of the Leonard art?
The art didn't sell it for me.
No, okay. I see now. I thought that the Morrison story sold the book for me just fine. I think that he's probably got a really great plan. I just, I can't read this book. It's just I don't know. It's ugly, and I don't normally mind Liam Sharp's work. I just
there's Drew judging people by how they look again. Okay.
Look, I like my girls a lot more janky than I like my comic books.
Yeah, you definitely lower your standards
like
when it comes to dating.
Yeah, like Tank Girl.
Mike,
she's a janky girl and a janky comic book.
You're up, Mike.
Legend, yes, sir. Legend pointed out that we had almost 30 viewers, so thank y'all for coming out tonight and hanging out. My next book, my last book, I think.
I don't know. Did you mention that Comic G-Man is here too?
You did earlier.
Okay,
Yep.
I just want to make sure we get everybody.
Suicide Squad. I love my Suicide Squad. I love Katana, and this has two stories tied together. First one is the Katana, where at the end she actually gets trapped in her sword with her husband, so that's pretty cool. And the story kind of focuses on El Diablo and the formation of Sumac. All squads matter, so loved it. Gentleman Ghost is in here. He's pretty cool, so great stuff. New character in this, so this is a key. His name is Aladdin, not the fucking dude in the lamp, but
I can show you the world.
Can you now? And happy Veterans Day. Thank you, Midwest. Happy Veterans Day.
So the panel is what, 3 veterans and 2 non-vets, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
But you
That
are a
means
park
we're better
ranger.
than you.
I am a park ranger, but that does not make me a vet. Anybody else read Suicide Squad Black Files this week?
I've taken veterinary medicine, not like classes, but like actual veterinary medicine. Does that count?
Special
No.
K, brother.
Suicide Black. Yeah, I read that book. I don't have it with me. It's weird. It's someplace else. So yeah, we got a new character. We got a cool cover. We got some classic characters coming back. We got a solid story. You know what? I think this is going to be my stash as well, and I think I'm going to follow this run to kind of see where this goes, because the other Suicide Squad story is getting weird, and I'm not very interested in it, so I may have to change that up and start following it, because Ghost Gentleman, I mean, it's slightly silly. I'll give you that, but that's okay. First word in comic books, comic.
Okay, my next book, I might do a two for here because it's like roughly the same kind of content. Rags #2, same kind of gratuitous nudity with well-placed little bunnies on parts. Not as good as the first one. Definitely, it's a low print run. If you want to grab, if you can see it, grab it, pick it up. It's going for $25-30. The other one is IDW Road of the Dead, Highway to Hell. This was kind of I actually enjoyed this better than Rags, zombie book where this guy works in the army. He's actually a tank driver. He has a tank with him. They're talking about trying to get to this place. They end up running into people that said she might have something as a vaccine for the zombie outbreak, but they didn't have anything for sure. So they loaded the tank on the back of his truck. They're getting ready to head up north to go get her to this place so she can do the work on it. Anybody seen that movie Tank with
Yes.
what's his name? He played in Rockford Files.
Yes. Amazing fucking movie.
So it kind of had that kind of vibe to me a little bit, because it is his tank. Rest of his platoon's wiped out. They end up running across another group that says, "Hey, we want her. She has a vaccine." She's like, "No, I don't have the vaccine. I have something that may work for a vaccine." They're like, "He has a freaking tank." And they said, "Well, the barrel's strapped down, but he jumps in behind like the 50 caliber and starts just blowing people away that's on this tank." Definitely, I thought it was good stuff. I'll probably definitely pick it up issue 2 as well. So I don't know if anybody read either one of those books this week.
James Garner, by the way.
It was James Gardner in it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we can get him for? He owns a tank. We can get him for like 20 feet of fence. That's it. It's his tank. He can do what he wants with it. So if you haven't seen Tank, it came out in the mid 80s, probably.
Early
definitely
80s.
Go check that out. Yeah,
And it is possibly the most early 80s movie ever made.
Oh yeah, definitely. But Tank, I remember watching it with my dad. So, anybody else read Rags or Road of the Dead this week?
I say they day.
So, actual funny story about Road to the Dead. By noontime in the Hampton Roads area, that book was sold out everywhere. That and Punchline were sold out everywhere in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. I mean, I literally traveled to like 10 comic book places to try to get it, and I could not get online to order it quick enough before the price started raising. So, I mean, if you're a collector out there and you don't have those two books, you may want to try to get them as quick. Apparently, they're extremely low print, and they're very popular. I've not heard any negative reviews about either one of those books yet.
Yeah, I didn't get Punchline. I tried to, but nobody else had it here. So, okay, jumping on to Drew and your next book.
All right, let's talk about X-Men Red. This series is going to be coming to an end soon. We've got one more issue, I believe, until it's just folded into Uncanny X-Men proper. I like what they're doing here. Cassandra Nova starts off by hijacking Jean Grey, and, well, not hijacking her, but using a dummy Jean Grey to broadcast her hatred of the human race, which is kind of cool. And it brings the fight to Genosha. Right now, you've got Namor and the Avengers helping out the X-Men, and that's the only thing I don't like about this book, because if you're reading the Avengers, Namor is really fucking pissed off at the Avengers right now. And I think that this is a little bit of editorial continuity issue here, but it doesn't hurt this story itself. So if you're not reading Avengers, it won't affect your view of it. But this is pretty damn good. Really like it. The art is solid. You get some Honey Badger in here, so what are you gonna be mad at? Good stuff.
You just read X-Men Red this week?
No, but I love this. It's been a really good story. I'm gonna get to it.
Nobody else then. That's right. I was gonna do a Scottish impression for my quote tonight, and I forgot about it. Damn it!
If you do, I am
That's racist, bro.
It's almost guaranteed I will put my headset down and walk away.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Scottish. It was Irish.
The way you just did that was proof that you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shut your pie hole. Thinking of Scottish, we'll move on to McDougal.
Aye, laddie. It's time for my pick of the week. Marvel Knights 20th #1.
Wow.
Is there anything Donny Cates cannot fucking do? This was amazing. It's basically all the heroes and villains. They just woke up. They have no idea who they are, who anybody else is, what they're doing here. Has the makings of something special, and it has Taskmaster and Crossbones. Please just take my fucking money.
EBS read Marvel Knights. Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think of Marvel Knights?
Yeah, I absolutely love this. I thought this was great. It was good to see kind of a, you know what, I'll go ahead and say it. It's a relaunch of certain characters involved in something we don't know yet because it's the first issue. Everybody's mind's wiped. We got Doom in it. We got Wilson Fisk bowing down to Doom. We got Taskmaster, Crossbones. We got superheroes doing normal jobs, being reminded of who they are. We have a great story in a philosophical term that describes self. You know, what makes self? Your superpowers. What would you be without them? And we get a hint of that in this. And I think that just really normalizes the story, the normalization of a character and exaggeration. In this case, instead of the exaggerated human, we get a totally different twist on it. And I want to say it's unique, but I know there's plenty of people out there that know comic books better than me. But I think for this year, I think we truly have a unique story that we can really sink our teeth into and find out, are they any different because they think they're normal? So I'm really excited about this run. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely a stash.
I think from what I got, the only ones who have any fucking idea what's going on are Doom, Taskmaster, and Crossbones.
And Banner seems to know something too. He was in the back of the cop car. That's who we found out.
And Kingpin is kind of halfway. He's starting to get some ideas. He's like got pictures on his wall of this may be this person, this may be this person. But
yeah, I think we got nothing but a good story coming, and we got maybe our characters will not do the same thing they're used to doing, and maybe we might see them in a different light. I mean, for one, Punisher got his ass handed to him, which doesn't happen very often. Right.
Drew, did you read it?
I certainly did, sir. And let my shirt speak for itself. Where there is doom, there will be a stash. And this is my stash of the week. Stash of the week. Donny Cates did it again. Foreman's art in this didn't really do that much for me, but I absolutely love this story.
This is one of the most exciting stories I've read all year.
Did Cates actually write it, or was he?
He wrote it.
Or no, he wrote it. You know, or gave the idea. And I know there's a couple of the books that he didn't write. He was just kind of a co-creator on.
I mean, just reading it has Donny Cates written all over it.
Yeah, he definitely wrote it.
Okay, Mike, did you read it? You're out of books.
I did not.
You're out of books, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say, Drew, the art didn't really do much for me, but yeah, I did like the kind of the end of review where Bullseye is kind of like he's given a docket of like who he is, so you maybe get a little more information on. I
love they keep making fun of his real name.
Yeah, they call him Lester.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude reveal at the end was awesome too. So I was really hesitant on this. I wasn't going to pick up issue 2, but I think I probably will pick up issue 2 just kind of see what's going on with it. Mike's going to sit there quietly.
See, this is why we always say Dave's wrong. All of us are talking about how this book is like the second coming for this year, and he's like, I might read it just to see where it goes.
Okay, we'll talk about my pick of the week. Dead Rabbit number 2. This was definitely good stuff. If you read the first one, like the first one, good continuing story. He decides he's back in the first issue. He ends up going back to his wheelman. His wheelman's on board with it. He's gonna help him rob the bank. He's how soon? He said tomorrow. Like, okay, let's do it. He goes to rob the bank, and he comes back, and his wheelman's blood sugar's low, and he passed out, and he ends up getting in the car, driving it. He ends up wrecking it, pretty much almost killing the wheelman. He ended up taking him to the hospital. Good shit, dude. I love his mask in here too. You know, it's simple. Just the black mask with 2 red X's. You know, when he's driving the car, he's like, dude, this was not made to drive a car. This is not why this mask is made. Definitely good stuff. My pick of the week, Dead Rabbit number 2 from Image. Anybody else read Dead Rabbit?
Of course I did.
Okay. What'd you think of Dead Rabbit?
It was in second place for my pick of the week. I am really digging this story like you. I mean, it's just an amazing fucking story. It's got that hard-boiled, you know, just crazy stuff going on. I can't wait to see what happens when the mob catches up to him, because you know they're starting to track him down.
Mm-hmm.
The big takeaway from this one is his wife figured out he's doing shit again. You know, and he's like, you know, I'm back on the job, and she's like, how many people are hurt? You know. So, yeah, this has been damn good.
Did she say something about when he pulled the driver back? Oh, you didn't pull him back in, did you?
Yeah.
Did she say something like that?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Drew, you didn't read it?
No.
You're not much of an Image guy, though, are you?
I like good Image books, yeah. But no.
We have not talked about Farmhand.
This is one of them.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see it.
I don't know if anybody read Farmhand. I didn't. You did.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
I read it.
Well, we'll talk about Farmhand real quick since Legend wants to know about it.
We can do that. So, yeah, last one of this run. I've been a fan of Farmhand, but the last issue kind of let me down. It left me hanging. They better come back. I don't know if this was a pilot. That's what I'm assuming it was, because there's no way you could have this much of a cliffhanger and just left me hanging with nothing. Like, there were so many plot holes, and I was expecting it all come to some sort of conclusion. So I'm hoping that it continues on. I'm hoping somebody picks it up or whatever the case may be, because I'm really hooked into this story. This is a good story. I spent a lot of time, energy, and effort into this thing, trying to figure it out, and I've had a great time with it. And that's what's good storytelling at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you still have the trials and tribulations of family versus running a business and running secrets in a family and all this other great stuff. And I really want to see it come to some sort of ta-da. And I didn't get that in the last issue. So I won't blast it because it's a complete run and I loved every single issue of it, including this one. I liked it. It just didn't answer. I don't feel it ended. It just kind of left me, you know, it was kind of like my high school prom date. She just left me.
Well, let me be like your hand post prom date and give you a little bit of relief, because Farmhand is going to be an ongoing series. They're just taking a break between the arcs.
Spooged.
White Whale Comics is in here. DS Comics. I'm not sure if we had talked about them earlier. I thought there was somebody else in here. Well, consistently pretty good chat tonight. A lot of viewers. Going back to you, Drew, your next book.
Yeah, my next book was my second for pick of the week, and I know people are going to really hate me when I say this, but it was Deadpool number 6. This was an absolutely hilarious issue. Hepburn's art has continued to be spectacularly consistent throughout this run. Scotty Young is writing this book. This is all about Deadpool being a little bit depressed and moping around the city while somebody tries to kill him and keeps missing. The only thing that cheers him up is when he finds out this character's name is Kill Puddle, and he's so lame. And it's really hilarious. And I probably just ruined the joke, but man, it's great. This cover really speaks to me. Black Cloud hanging over Deadpool's head. The X-Men cover here, I really dug that as well. So I had to pick that up because I picked all those up, even the ugly-ass Rob Liefeld Champions cover. That's a stash. Close to being my stash of the week.
Anybody else read Deadpool?
Good Lord, no.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, you got more, Paul?
No, actually, Dead Rabbit was my last one.
Okay, moving on to Joe.
Ooh, I'm surprised nobody else got to it. Spider Gideon.
That's on my list.
Spider Gideon. Not disappointed. All right, so now we have the conflict. And again, this is one of those stories where I have to kind of get weird and go into the philosophy of it. You have this very strong Kantian belief and this utilitarian belief. Octavius, Spider Octavius guy, he likes his Kantian belief, whatever it takes, damn the results. And you got this great utilitarian belief with Miles Morales trying to figure out how to get everybody to work together to figure out a better solution. And we're going to see that conflict happen. And that is true conflict. And I'm very excited to see that played out in an actual comic book in a way that's generally described in a lot of psychological papers. So I'm very excited to see that happen. I know that's really deep into a comic book, but that's the first thing that I noticed in it. Very rarely do you see this kind of conflict. Usually you see this conflict with superheroes and super villains going at it, or a misunderstanding, but there's no misunderstanding here. Everybody knows that the inhibitors need to be destroyed. They just have a different way of doing it. And I truly think that this is probably one of the most unique stories that you can possibly find right now. The art's beautiful in it. I got some great covers for it, but right now I'm just excited to see this new take on a non-villain, non-misunderstanding, but just a straight up conflict between two beliefs happen right now. And I think that's really great. Pick it up, read it. It's going to be awesome.
What are you thinking of that, Drew?
I think I couldn't agree with that more. I think it's a very in-depth and thoughtful review, Joey, and color me surprised. No, I that was no, really, really good, man. And yeah, right on the head. The art in this is great. Slott is helping to write these characters, so he's got a really great understanding of them through his work with Spider-Verse. And I think a lot of this bigger story that's being told is Christos Gage, and I really enjoy his work. So I'm going to keep reading this. More Spider people, the better. Throw them all in there.
Okay. Good night. My next book is The Empty Man, Boom Studios, Cullen Bunn book. I guess it's a virus that kind of goes around and it's affecting people, and they're actually pulling them out, if I remember right, and like put them in a different, in a insane asylum. Yeah, that's what it is. Essentially, it's this guy, his wife has symptoms of what's going on. He's actually trying to hide it from the government. And at the very end, she's freaking out so much that I don't know if it's a government really. It just says that they can come help before maybe the government gets there. Interesting concept. I'm not sure if I'll pick up issue 2 though, but it was okay. Anybody else read Empty Man? Joe did.
Yeah, I read it. So basically what happens is this virus starts going around the world, and Dustin Hoffman has to save everybody. No, I'm sorry, that was a movie. Let me make sure I get this right. The virus enters around the world, and a guy wakes up from a coma. Nope, that was Walking Dead. Hold on. Yeah, blasted. We've heard this story. We've seen this story. There's nothing unique in it. The art is at best pedestrian. I found the story readable. It's a different take on a concept that we've heard several times before, and if we were to get deep into this one, basically we got a lost girl story here. That's really all it is. A girl trying to find her way through the dark, dirty woods. In this case, it just happens to be a virus, and people being, I don't want to say zombie because that would even be more pedestrian than what we originally stated. Meh. I mean, if you're into that stuff, by all means, go get it. I see people are already like lighting up the chat room right now. They like the story. Definitely. Don't let me change your mind on it. But I guarantee you, if you read issue 2, you'll be able to predict midway through the story what's going to happen. Promise you.
You read that, Drew?
I did not.
Okay.
I don't even have a funny story about it.
Not even a funny story. What other books you got this week?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are we in lightning round yet? Or
Yeah, let's do lightning round. Let's get this over. Where are you at? An hour and 15, Destin Comics.
All right. Well, let me talk about a couple things I really liked. Umbrella Academy. This is really the only thing that Gerard Way should ever work on. Gabriel Ba's art is fantastic. Volume 3 is shaping up to be just as great as the first 2 volumes. So make sure you check that out. More Scotty Young written goodness. Got his cover here for Bully Wars. Connolly cover here. Bully Wars is fantastic. Check it out. He's doing the plotting and most of the layouts, I believe, on this, as well as Connolly is doing the art. Still really, really enjoyable. And if you're a fan of Scotty, you're going to enjoy that stuff as well. Worst art I've seen in quite some time goes to Typhoid Fever X-Men. I don't even want to open this up and show you guys what the inside looks like. It might get us banned from YouTube. I don't think I've seen something this ugly in a very, very long time. Everybody looks kind of like putty people, and they're kind of all over the place, size-wise and proportions. Yeah, stashing this. This is West Coast Avengers. If you're not reading this, you're not reading a really fun book. It's dumb fun. It's a lot of millennial style heroes from the Marvel universe. So I know a lot of people aren't down to read a book about Kate Bishop and Gwenpool and America Chavez. But for me, you throw Quentin Quire on any team, and I'm down to read what they're all up to. So this is good stuff. Giant Tigra in this, and Kate Bishop gets turned into a giant hawk. So yeah, there's that.
What?
Hawk.
Giant hawk.
Hawk.
Oh,
She's
man.
Hawkeye.
I heard
She's turned into a giant hawk.
I turned some.
Of course, you heard giant something else because that's what you got on your brain, you pervert.
Boobies.
Yeah. Didn't read it yet, but excited to get to Crowded. I've been loving this series so far. So issue number 4, I hope we'll continue that. Loving this Infinity Wars tie-in as Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the 3rd issue. I think they had maybe some issues with artists here.
I think All About Comics is right. He said, wait for it. Drew's Voice of Satan should arrive anytime now.
Yeah, because I'm on a roll. That's how it happens.
I don't know. He had it happen 4 times during the Friday show. So
yeah, it's true. Colin Bunn's writing this, but we get a lot of different artists working on this, including some great Del Mundo stuff. So if you're liking the Del Mundo Thor stuff, you'll like this. And if you're not, then you probably won't. So keep that in mind. Champions I won't read, but we did get this Rob Liefeld cover, which is comically bad.
Yeah.
Beast has 2 right feet. That was just pointed out to me.
Tell him about it.
I can't believe
Wolverine.
you missed that up until now.
Yeah, I wasn't really even looking at it. I was looking at how terrible Wolverine looked and how awesome Gambit looked. And I was like, well, at least Gambit looks kind of awesome down there in the corner. I didn't really even look at the rest of the book.
The reason I looked is because if Liefeld draws feet, it should be the center of attention for you, and he failed again.
I think
Yeah,
he does
so
now.
if you guys see him at a con, bring this book up to him, get him to sign it, and get thrown out of the con, and you ask him to explain what's going on with Beast's feet, because he will be a little man-child about it. You're preparing yourself?
It sounded like it was getting ready to roll there. You can tell the noise. It'll kind of roll.
We're going to unplug, replug, nip it in the bud.
There you go.
All right. The Doctor Strange number 7. I dropped this, but I did pick up the X-Men cover here. The Immortal Hulk X-Men cover here. I haven't read it yet. Weapon X. This is really, really terrible. A story about Azazel cutting off Sabretooth's head so he can go to hell to fight some ghost version of William Stryker. Why are we still doing this? That was dumb as fuck. And Justice League 11, I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but it's Aquaman, so I don't really care where it's going. I'm not following the Drowned Earth stuff. But the Manipul art, when I flipped through it, was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to get to it eventually.
I'm surprised you were able to get a copy of that. I think with that cover, Mike had probably bought every one he could find.
It's on my pool list. I got a guy.
What, the Great White Shark cover?
Yeah, shark cover.
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
Joe, your lightning round pick books.
Oh, let's see how many more I got. Bam. So we're going to roll through these as quick as we can. We got Justice League number 11 with the great cover, beautiful cover, great story. I've been enjoying Drowned Earth. It's all right, which pisses me off because if you know me, I hate that flipping fish whisperer, whatever. Next, Typhoid Mary. This is a garbage book, garbage story. Save your money. Get the digital copy. This was horrible.
Jesus, did you read it?
On the inside is, ugh.
I couldn't get. I looked at the first page and was like, I can't read this.
If you want to know what the actual inside of the book looks like from the cover, you can go to their variant, which they screwed up on. And if you look down there at the bottom, everybody looks like Drew said, he was absolutely right. They look like they're made of clay. It was just horrible. I don't know what they were thinking on that one. It was garbage blasted. As Guardians of the Galaxy, great tie-in with Infinity War. We have a very deep story in here too. Nebula's always got a problem with her sister, so there's always the family issue there. But what's interesting there is the fact that she wants to bring back the dead, the people that she hated before, to fight her war, which are the Asgardians. So now we got my frog's back. I don't know why that thing is significant, but I love it. He's right there with Bobo the Chip as far as I'm concerned. I'm loving the story. I think it's great. Stash it. Next, super, super uber garbage story. Blast it to hell, set it on fire. Probably won't make it through the rest of the day. Iceman. This book tricked me. This was a dirty whore in disguise.
No,
Is it because his amazing friends are there?
Yes,
Janky.
I thought it had something to do with the awesomest cartoon of all time, Super Friends from back in the day, when them 3 were a cartoon character on Saturday morning. And you know what it turned into? A gay love fest. Next.
That's what Iceman is, bro.
Huh?
That's what Iceman is.
Now.
And if he is, so be it. But it didn't need to be. It was not relevant to the story in any way. Yeah, I get the 2 gay couple kissing, although the other couples didn't kiss. The other couples had nothing other to do than just to be there just in time to save Iceman's ass. And that's it.
Hello.
All right,
my problem with Iceman has nothing to do with his homosexuality and everything to do with he's not the same Bobby that he's been since the 1960s.
Again, why? Just why?
It's
why
dumb.
is it relevant? Who knows? Spawn number 289 got this beautiful cover right here. I love the price point of this comic book because if I end up going over, this is the last thing that I'm able to get away with before my wife finds out I spent an extra $3 on. Definitely good story, great art on the inside. Spawn has been consistent. I've been enjoying it. Definitely a stash. Next, Weapon Hex. I'll stash it straight up for the cover alone. This is a kick-ass cover.
The cover is great.
Azazel in the story. Love me some Azazel. Why all of a sudden he's an actual considered demon, I don't know. He was basically just an older, back in the day, he was nothing more than an older Nightcrawler. Now he's an actual demon, so I'm not sure why that's relevant or how that happened. I'm getting back into comics, trying to find out. But back in the day, I'll give the story another issue. We'll see what happens. I thought it was a little extreme in the killing them, but whatever. Elvira's a stash because she's got big boobs. Next.
Hashtag
Bully
boob
Wars.
stash.
Bully Wars has been consistently good. It's been consistently funny.
I thought you said boob wars. And I'm like, what? You just talked about big boobs and boob wars?
Only if she's jumping rope. All right. So Bully Wars. Great story about teenage awkwardness. And now a bully has to decide if he actually has a friend that he used to beat up on or if he's going to have to out-bully everybody else. I think we got some interesting issues coming out of this. Again, to get deeper with it, teen awkwardness. Next, The Wicked and the Divine. All right, so very simple. If you pick this book up and you haven't read it yet, just go on and kiss your money goodbye, throw it away. It's done. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. It's a bunch of stories wrapped up into one. Something about gods and people and revamping, and Scooby-Doo has something to, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, I had to read this twice just to make sure I wasn't missing something. And no, I didn't. It's just stupid. So blast that garbage. That won't happen again. Something good that came up. And again, stupid story. Enjoyed it. Kitty Cat, House of Horrors. Fun mini story about Halloween. I love the classic old school horror type cover going on here. That's why I picked this one in particular. It reminds me of an EC type cover. I enjoyed it. It's a funny story. It's not super comic book type deal. It's just fun reading. Next, Trump and Space Force. I got this because I hate the liberals in Norfolk, and I love buying it in front of them and then reading it out loud. Stash. Next, I got a bunch of free comic books, which was kind of weird. I got Jughead the Hunger.
Oh, we lost Paul.
He sends us a message.
Oh, did he? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Got Frankenstein. And picked up the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. This is the prelude to the show that's on Netflix right now. And now that I've read this, the Netflix show kind of makes sense. So if you're kind of lost on the show or want a little bit more detail why the family's so important, you may want to pick this up. I think you can still get them currently. Two interesting variants I picked up this week through the mail. Spider Force #1. I got that beautiful cover right there. I'll eat that up all day long. And last but not least, this unusual mail package that I got from outside of this Venom #5. I don't know what I did to get this. Somebody sent it to me. I'm waiting for him to look up.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. All right. So for you that don't know, we have a Patreon site where you can get a comic book awarded to you if you win. He'll talk more about it later, but just to show you that they do send them out. There's the one that I got. Very happy with this copy. Very clean. Thank you very much.
Yep.
That's all I got. That's a lot.
I've only got a couple real quick. Is somebody else talking?
Yeah, we're all talking.
Yeah. Justice League #11. I did pick up this cover. Did read through it. Thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy the Jonathan storyline, and it's going pretty good. I do like the part where they're getting ready to throw Aquaman off the cliff, and he's like, "Yeah, just because I have no powers, I did pick up a few things from Batman." He starts kicking her ass, but to no avail. They end up throwing him off the cliff anyhow. But I definitely good stuff. I did pick up the Elvira. Always got to pick up Linzer covers. If I see a Linzer cover, I'm picking it up. I don't think Linzer's going to be doing any more of these Elvira covers, though. So I will only be picking up the photo covers of Elvira. So always pick up those. Always pick up Linzer, or if it's a good looking cover, I'll pick it up. And that is it. That's all my books. What's that? Hashtag boobies. Hashtag almost 70-year-old boobies. Yes, I always love me some Elvira. There are actually 4 books out in the previews this month with Elvira on the cover, and I'm like, I don't want to spend. So a couple of them like horror magazines with her on the cover, but I don't want to spend $10 just for the cover of her on there. So, I think there is a new Elvira Funko Pop out. I'm not sure if Mike knows anything about that, but we'll pass it over to him. Hopefully he has the internet to do this tonight and the mental acuity or awareness to go about it. Go ahead, Mike.
If not, I'll fill in.
You've been kind of quiet. Yeah, you could definitely fill in there, Drew.
Seeing as it's almost 11:30, I'm not going to go through this whole list of news. I'm just going to kind of point out some highlights. We never asked for it. We're getting actual Funko cereal bowls and spoons to go along with our Funko cereal. I did see a Skeletor one. I don't care. I'm not going to buy that shit. Let's see. Black Friday at Hot Topic, we're going to get Captain America versus Thanos, so that'll be pretty cool. We're also getting Dwella Dent from DC Comics, which is Joker's daughter. Queen Pops, if you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, please go check out that movie. It is fucking awesome. Queen Pops will release next month. Do-it-yourself Mickey Mouses will be Michael's exclusives, so you can make your own Mickey Mouse. Why would you want to? Any LeBron James fans, Foot Locker will have an exclusive Funko of him. If you're playing the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4, you know that this costume, they're actually making a Funko Pop for that, and it looks amazing. If you get a couple years had the gold R2-D2 and the gold BB-8 in the dome, well, I guess this year we're getting an Infinity Gauntlet, and I think I'll try to grab that one. Harry Potter, more Rick and Morty. And that there's more, but we're running close on time here. I am up to 951 Funkos. Run through them real quick. I picked up Bud Bundy from Married with Children. Bundy with his hands down his pants. That's going to be me in about 10 minutes. Exit. So.
You've been doing the past 10 minutes. What are you talking about?
Peg Bundy from Married with Children. Let's see. I got Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse.
I love how that pop is like set on that on the clear platform, so it looks like he's jumping.
Yeah. Thanks to PocanJoe's wife, I was able to get the Dig'em Frog. Smack. And also the Target exclusive. Excuse me, guys. I am tired as fuck. And so I grabbed that. 4 more to go. I picked up Spider-Man Noir right there. Spider-Ham, Walgreens exclusive.
Nice.
Picked up Toxin from Walgreens right there. And the Lizard. I also picked up my first Savage World action figure. Picked up Pinhead from Hellraiser. It's the only one I really wanted. If you're not familiar with the Savage World, they're basically taking the old school 80s He-Man toys and making them into other figures. And here is the rest of them right here. The only one I really wanted was Pinhead. So I grabbed that. And that is all I got for the past 2 weeks.
Anybody else get any plastic this week?
I picked up a Marvel Legends Archangel, but I don't know where the fuck I put him. No.
I got nothing either. I am waiting for the Married with Children TV. You know, they have the movie moments, the TV moment with Al Bundy in the shoe store. You know, trying to
With
push
a fat chick?
Yeah, with an extra small shoe. I'm a size 5. No, lady, you're a size 9.5. Or whatever, whatever things he says in his little Bundyisms, if you want to call them that. So I do want to talk about our Patreon. Last month, our Patreon winners, they won a total of, I think it was 6 or 7 books. I mean, you got the one from last month, but this is the Halloween special one. They got 3 blind bag Walking Dead books, as well as 3 other books. So definitely go check out our Patreon. You can enter as little as $1 and win books. Sometimes we have 2 winners for the month. Sometimes we'll just have 1, depending on what we got going on. And, of course, the more Patreon members we have, the bigger the prizes can be. I mean, really, for only taking home $15 for the whole month in Patreon account, that was easily double that in what I spent on the books going out. So definitely want to make them bigger and better. I did try to do like a Patreon to where you spend $15. I'll give you 10 random books. It could be Bronze Age, could be modern, could be whatever, trying to make a mix of things and trying to get people to kind of join up and help us out, support the channel. And it's all that money that comes in does not go to Drew's walking around money. It actually goes back out to comics for prizes. Drew's shaking his head no there. It is not going for C2E2. It's not going for your tender account, whatever you need to pay that for a month. I don't know how much it costs. He's going to be on C2E2 or in Chicago. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Trying to hook up with some waitress there, and he'll get blocked by Joey. Yeah.
That's my hometown. I might know some women.
You might come across Mike's sister. Who knows?
I might have a sister.
Hey, man, look, the community is already trying to feed me their sisters, all right? So if anybody else wants their sister to hang out with me in Chicago, I'm down for that. I'll buy her a drink. It'll probably be really cheap.
So we're running an hour and a half. I mean, that was a long segment with some comics. We had quite a few books this week, so I don't think we got any news or anything tonight. I know you guys got your Comic Core on Friday nights. I know Drew and Paul show up for that. I don't know if Mike has or Joe. I don't think you have shown up for that. Definitely go check that out on Friday night. I'm working on something on my own, trying to work on a podcast, but it's so hard with time and everything else I got going on, reading my books for the week, and then trying to do something else on top of that, on top of working, on top of scouts, on top of sports. But I don't know. I'm working on. I got some stuff recorded.
On top of being a Danger Ranger.
And a Danger Ranger, yes. So I think we're going to wrap it up tonight, and we'll. I'll do Paul's real quick. As always, I like to get everybody in the chat, and today, especially the veterans out there who have served to help protect our country and give us these rights and freedoms to be able to do this right here. Talk about comic books. Say they're crap. Say they're whatever. So they give us freedom to have this platform to be able to go on and say, screw you, Drew. You're up, Drew.
I'd like to take this moment to formally apologize to Huey and the rest of the Blasted fam on behalf of the words that I spoke on Friday's Comic Core. What happened, guys, is I'm not being fired, but I am being fined. Huey has taken all of my walking around money, and he's putting it back towards investing it into the books we're sending out to you guys. It's upsetting to me. It should be upsetting to you, but the punishment fits the crime is all I'm going to say on that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Comic Core guys who popped in tonight. Love hanging out with you guys on Friday. Shout out to everybody who's going to be coming to C2E2 with us. Very excited about that. If you're in the chat and you don't know about it, hit one of us up, find out what's going on. We're all going to go to C2E2. We're going to get crazy wild. It's going to be amazing. Shout out to All About Comics. He was in the chat earlier. He's in here now. I think he is as well. JP said something about doing an auction later on this week, maybe next week. We'll figure that out, and I'll let you guys know all about that if I'm going to be on there selling some books. So, and also a shout out to all the veterans out there. Yeah, you guys have balls that I don't have. Thank you for fighting for our country so I can smoke weed in an alley and be a dick.
Smoke weed and fondle midgets in an alley. Yep. So, Joe, your shout outs. So I got to give Drew a hard time. I think it's just all part of my, it's ingrained in me. So I apologize. Go ahead there, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for coming by Blaster Stash It tonight. Please check out our Patreon site where only $1 will make you holler. Also, thank you to all of our veterans out there for all your sacrifices, great looks, and you're probably good looking too. Thank you for stopping by and chatting with us tonight. And if you're going to C2E2, please hook us up. We'll make you holler for less than $1.
Do you do a lot of public speaking in your work?
I used to be a DJ for a radio station, and I pretty much talk for a living.
Oh, really? That really comes out there when you do that. How about you, Mike?
I'm shouting out my bed, which is calling my name.
Mike, come sleep in me.
This ain't Dallas, man. This ain't Dallas.
It's pretending to be your bed, man.
Oh, okay. No, for real. Shout out to all the new people that showed up tonight. I'm not going to go through you. You guys know who you are. Shout out to Chad from the Comic Corps, who's kind of taking the front running in this whole C2E2 thing.
I thought Paul was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe Paul was.
Look. Paul and Chad has lots of great ideas, and Paul makes sure that Chad remembers his great ideas.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry
So
to interrupt you.
Paul and Chad.
I don't know how that works. I'm just making it up.
But yeah, I'm done.
we screwed him up. He's like, dude, you bastards. You cut me off. I'm not doing so good. I just want to go to bed. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Hey, shout out to Spider Grandpa. He wasn't here last week, and we were all worried about him. And now he's not dead, and we're not that worried.
We thought he would pass out in the alley drinking cheap wine, waking up with his butt hurting. Didn't know why.
He knew why.
That was Baltimore.
That was Baltimore. Okay, guys. As always, thanks for everybody showing up. We had a lot of active chat. About 30 people in the chat live watching. A lot of new people jumping in here. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out. Got a few new subs as well. We have 19 viewers now, which is really freaking rare for us to have this many viewers this late in the game. So we do thank you guys for sticking around. And Strictly Comics just jumped in here at the last minute, right before I say, whether you blast it or whether you stash it, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.